What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about benefits of breastfeeding for both baby and you. And y'all, I know I've been making a lot of videos about breastfeeding lately, but like I just love breastfeeding. And it just so happens to be World Breastfeeding Week. So we need to talk about this. We need to get all this good old information and facts out so people can make informed decisions about, you know what I'm saying, breastfeeding. But I know I've been making a lot of videos about breastfeeding, and my channel is not solely about breastfeeding. It is a whole mama tribe. So y'all, my content calendar for August is lit. So stay tuned for those videos. It's going to be definitely more diverse in like the whole mommyhood area. And if you're new to my channel, go on ahead and subscribe and join my mama tribe so you can see everything that I have for you guys. Ooh, that kind of rhymes. But anyways, these are a lot of benefits that you may or may not have known that breastfeeding provides, not just baby, but you as well. So I'm literally going to be reading this off of the blog post that I just posted. If you wanted to actually see like the more detailed version of it, you can check the blog post out. It's called 9 Benefits You May Not Have Known, I think. And that's on my blog, www.issamonologues.com. I will also link it below in the description bar. But yeah, let's get into the video. Okay. So first of all, if you didn't know, the American Pediatric Association and almost like every highly certified medical professionals recommend that mothers exclusively breastfeed, which means no other supplements, no formula or anything like that, just solely breast milk to the baby for the first 6 months of life. And so in the research that I found is basically all the benefits that come along with exclusively breastfeeding for those first 6 months of your baby's life, and then also breastfeeding and introducing like vegetables and fruits to your baby throughout like 6 months to a year of their life. So I'm pretty much just going to read this off a list to you because it's just so many benefits that you'll get, and there's no point in making it like different points when I can just like read them all off to you. But basically, a baby that is exclusively breastfed is significantly, did y'all hear me? Less likely to have allergies, eczema, asthma, lower rates of SIDS, which if you don't know is sudden infant death syndrome, and they're also less likely to become obese and diabetic type 1 and type 2 later on in their life. Like, I know that was a lot right there, but I kind of just wanted to link that all together because at the end of the day, these are all like health related benefits that the nourishment of breast milk can do for your baby. Like, it's not to say that any of these things cannot happen if you're breastfeeding, and it's not to say that they will definitely happen if you're not breastfeeding. It's just the likeliness of it happening is significantly reduced if you are exclusively breastfeeding your child. So literally everything that they need as far as nutrients and nourishment for the first 6 months of their lives, like they don't need any other supplements. I did read something about sometimes if there's like a deficiency in vitamin D, that might be something that you need to up in your own diet as a breastfeeding mom. But other than that, like every nutrient that they need for the first 6 months, they can get straight from you in your breast milk, and it's everything they need. So I know a lot of people ask me like, is my daughter taking anything else, or is she like formula fed and breastfed? But like, no sis, this is all me. Another benefit of it is that breastfed babies tend to gain pretty healthy weight. And what I mean by that is, like it says, they're less likely to develop obesity later in life. And this is because breastfed babies are really keen to regulating their own intake as far as their consumption. So they know when they're satisfied or when they're full, and they don't really tend to overeat. Whereas if you're formula feeding, the same hormones are not being released, so it's a little bit different. It's different for a formula fed baby. And again, this doesn't mean that a formula fed baby is going to be obese. This doesn't mean that. But there is research that does suggest that breastfed babies are very good at self-regulating. It's something called leptin, Leptin. I'll like insert the definition of whatever that is on here somewhere. But anyways, read the blog post. It's all in there. But bottom line is, breastfed babies are less likely to develop obesity, asthma, allergies. Overall, they just have a greater immunity to infections and illnesses and diseases, which is amazing. That's definitely what we want. And another benefit that I had no idea of until I did this research is that it's also linked to higher cognitive abilities later on in childhood. So I'm literally gonna like read this off of here for you. So it says, there are also studies that suggest that there is a linkage between long-term brain development and breastfed babies. These babies tend to go on to have higher IQs and greater brain maturations later in childhood due to the associations of physical touch, intimacy, and eye contact that breastfed babies experience. So scientifically, they're saying that that is a direct linkage with breastfeeding and the experiences that breastfeeding babies have with the bonding and things like that. And I'm just gonna put this out here for the last time because I already know people are gonna be like, well, I bond with my baby too. Like, okay, I'm not saying anything about formula fed babies here, okay? Like, nothing negative. I'm just saying that the studies show that these are tendencies that are way more common when they look at breastfed babies versus formula fed babies. So breastfed babies get a lot of antibodies. I always say that word wrong. Antibodies through breast milk that help them prevent a lot of diseases, fight infections, and also just acquire a greater immunity to infections altogether. So now, I know a lot of times when we talk about the benefits of breastfeeding, we mainly think about the benefits for baby, but there are also a lot of benefits for mama as a breastfeeding mama as well. I just can't talk today. First and foremost, up to 15% of mothers that are in the postpartum stage end up developing postpartum depression, and when you breastfeed, you are dramatically less likely to actually have postpartum depression. And the science behind that is just like when you naturally are going into labor, your body is releasing these hormones called oxytocin. It's often called the feel-good hormone. Basically what it does is it sends signals for your body to just go in a more relaxed state. And every time you breastfeed, these hormones are also being released. So your body is being told basically to relax. There's more intimacy there. It encourages more like maternal bonding between you and baby, and just like positive feelings kind of just going on all in there. So with this constantly happening, when you're breastfeeding, it's like a around the clock job. When you're constantly doing it, the chances of you actually having postpartum depression are significantly less than they would be if you didn't have this constant release of hormones into your body. So that's like a scientific based thing. And then you might also hear that breastfeeding moms tend to lose weight faster because you're burning a lot of calories when you're breastfeeding. So I've heard that for a long time, but actually when I was doing my research, I did see that, yes, it is true, but they do say that after 3 months, breastfeeding moms are more likely to lose weight faster after 3 months of exclusively breastfeeding versus what I always heard, which is just like breastfeeding in general. But they say after the 3-month period, that's usually when that takes place. In my own personal experience, I did lose a lot of my baby weight. It was a lot of water weight that I gained when I was pregnant, and I did lose a lot of it by the time I was 3 months anyways. But according to the research, we burn about 500 calories a day just based on breastfeeding all day long, and I haven't done any exercise or anything like that. So I do highly attribute the weight that I lost to, one, it being a lot of water weight, two, breastfeeding, and then also just drinking a lot of water too. By the way, stay tuned guys, because one of the videos that I have for y'all that's coming out this month, probably like in a week or so, is my postpartum body, like what it looks like right now. I can't wait to show y'all that. Okay, but back to the video. So, and just like with baby, there are a lot of health benefits that come along for mama, just like they are for baby. So baby gains a lot of immunities and is able to like fight off infections and illnesses and all that good stuff. But with mom too, breastfeeding, and it's like the longer you breastfeed, the less likely you are to get these things. But breastfeeding lowers the risk of acquiring certain diseases such as breast cancer, ovarian cancer, endometriosis, and diabetes, to name a few, which is great. Like, that's great. Who knew Mother Nature was on our side with this breastfeeding thing too? Okay, and here is the most obvious benefit that like I don't think anybody talks about. It's free. Breastfeeding is free. Two things I can say I cannot get enough of as a mother: savings, okay, let me save my dollars, and time. You don't have to be pumping if you're a breastfeeding mom. I mean, yes, it is a round the clock job. It is helpful to be able to pump too, but you don't have to have all those extra gadgets. You don't have to have bottles. You don't have to have any of that stuff. If you're just breastfeeding, you just whip the boob out, girl, and like whenever. So you don't have to worry about cleaning bottles, buying bottles, buying a pump. But you know, most likely you can get a pump through your insurance, or they have them anyways. But all of that extra stuff that you may have as accessories to breastfeeding, you don't really need it. So this is the most natural state, is just whipping the boob out, you know what I'm saying? Just whenever the baby need it and putting it back. I mean, it might feel like you don't really have that much of a life when baby's attached to you at the boob all the time. But it is free, it is nourishing, it's just so magical. I love breastfeeding. I just love naturalness in general. Like, I love natural things, and breastfeeding is just us in our natural element as humans nourishing our babies. And so I love sharing these things with you guys. If you have any benefits that I didn't cover, make sure you put them in the description box. No, not there. Make sure you put them in the comments below. I be begging y'all to get in my comments. Get in my comments. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a mama tribe. How we gonna be a tribe and I'm the only one talking? Anywho, those are benefits of breastfeeding for both mama and baby. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, the more detailed version of it is on my blog, so that link will be in the description box below. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you didn't already, sis. See you guys in the next one.